You're listening to Danny de Hek, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. I earned that nickname by having a full-featured article in the New York Times, who published a story about my quest to name and shame anyone running a Ponzi scheme or a scam. I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome along, Danny de Hek, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. Welcome to another podcast session. I've got Rob Woolley here. This is my podcast, but Rob says to me he wants to interview me. So I'm just going to hand my show over to my co-host, and he's going to be the host. I'm going to sit here and say nothing. Over to you, Rob.
Well, you better not say nothing. Hello, my name's Rob Woolley, and tonight we're going to interview Danny de Hek, the Crypto Ponzi Avenger. We're going to be talking about YouTubing, of course. We're going to be talking about crypto opportunities. We're going to be talking about Boomerang as well. He doesn't know any of this, and he hasn't had any access to the questions. We've got a little bit of an echo there, Daniel, just in case it's coming through.
All right. Don't start talking about audio problems straight away, Rob.
No, but while you're doing that, I'm going to throw the first question at you. How long have you been a YouTuber?
Got it. Well, I think 2013, but not a real YouTuber. Probably realistically more about 2 years. Now, Susie's just said to us that we've got echo, so we've got to fix this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
How's that now sounding, Susie? Thank you for being in here. What are you doing every time we go live? She's in the. Where does she come from?
Yeah, boom, number one supporter, Daniel.
I know, I reckon. So are we still echoing?
No, you're
confirmation. All right, thank you, mate. Sorry, over to you.
You're good. Okay, so you started in 2013. What was that? Casual?
2013. I don't know. My first video might have actually been filming my mate filleting a brown trout. So that was filmed off my phone, and it has to date had over 250,000 views, and my number one video.
How many videos have you done that have had more than 250,000 views since then, Daniel?
None.
So it basically started on a high. It's gone downhill ever since.
Yeah, basically. I should have become a fisherman at that time.
Yeah, so basically this rest of the interview could be how to destroy a reputation that started off so promisingly. So where did you think it first started to go wrong?
Well, I have this co-host guy that continuously berates me because he's trying to be a YouTuber himself, and he sort of climbs over me trying to, be a bit of a peacock, really. So that was probably when I've probably known you for about 9 years.
Yeah.
See what you're doing this, Bob.
Okay, so but you started off with a hiss and a roar, and you had a little bit of a break, but then you got into it. What prompted you to get back into YouTubing?
When COVID happened, everyone was trying to be good on Zoom, and I had a business networking company, so I was running Zoom meetings. I think I was doing 4 Zoom meetings a day. So it prompted me to sort of get better equipment, better gear, and then I couldn't keep it together on the Zoom meetings. Everyone wanted face-to-face meetings. So long story short, I decided to start using my gear to do workshops, helping people survive and thrive in business instead. That was a failure. Actually, everything I've done since then has been a failure.
Yeah, Helen is quite impressed at your equipment, she tells me. That's your partner. But so how did those Zooms go with the networking and stuff during COVID?
Well, pretty crappy, really. I think people just glazed over. I found, I've done a lot of I'd like to think I've done a lot of public speaker training. But when you learn how to speak and talk and be on a stage, you normally don't talk with just your head. You talk with your body and you use your hands, your gesture. But when all that gets taken away, you either have to pull funny faces or, have really engaging content. And that was extremely hard. So it kind of like died.
So Fred, you've motivated me to talk with my hands tonight. So I'm going to get really animated. So you started off with Hiss and Raw. You had a bit of a lull. You got back into it, networking. That didn't work out so well. But then you got into crypto schemes for some reason. How did that transpire?
One of my members that I hadn't seen for 4 years rang me up like he's my best friend and tried to encourage me to come with him to a Wednesday meeting to learn all about Hyperverse, which was a Ponzi scheme at the time. But so then I decided to do a bit of research, and then the rest was history on that, really.
So, and since then, how long ago would that be? About 2 or 3 years ago?
I think probably 3 years ago.
Right. In those 3 years and the many crypto opportunities that you've spoken about, what would be the highlight? You know, like which one really captured your imagination and kind of drew you in and you looked forward to watching it or talking about it?
You mean what Ponzi scheme or what video?
Yep.
Well, it have to be Hyperverse because it's probably one of the most interesting ones, and it was a battle to get the content I needed to, I have to watch reruns of Zoom meetings, but now we've got a lot more advanced than that.
And back then, how often did they have a Zoom meeting for Hyperverse?
Saturday morning training and Wednesday. So both those 2 times a week.
Saturday and Wednesday. Now, of course, the one that's kind of captured your imagination recently is Boomerang, at least to the best of my knowledge. How often would you be doing a video on Boomerang?
I've gone backwards a wee bit. So, yeah, that's tricky. It used to be twice a day, but now it's one a day, but it's a long day. So I think I streamed for 6 hours today.
Oh, my goodness. 6 hours. What's the longest video you've ever done?
24 hours.
Is it really?
Yeah, in a row. One live stream.
Wow, 24 hours in a row. How many views did that get?
I don't know, because after I finished, it didn't save because YouTube only saved videos up to 12 hours.
Classic. So you're speaking for 12 hours for nothing, really?
Yeah, Helen went away, my partner went away for a holiday and left me home alone. So I thought I'm going to start I think I started on a Friday morning at 8 o'clock and went through to the next day. And it was quite it was interesting and it was great. I really enjoyed it. And also along the way, I thought I'd timestamp the whole meeting. So I still have the video online now, with the timestamps with no video. But I did it.
So when you're delivering a YouTube video, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to save people? Are you trying to inform people? Are you trying to entertain people? Or, is it just like a hobby, where you get up and hit live or record and, away you go?
I'm just trying to create awareness. I want people to be aware of what's happening.
Excellent. And what would be the ultimate outcome if people were to become aware?
We'll be right back.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Don't go to sleep on me. That's an elephant. I don't know why, but I like elephants. I think it's because my mum said no one's talking about the elephant in the room. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. And you don't want to or even think about changing the record. I've got some really cool sound effects, and I just had to find a place to use them. I can do explosions. I've even got a gunshot and a boom. Isn't that quite cool? Anyway, I just wanted to wake you up. Wake up, and we'll get into it. And by the way, just grab a drink. I'm going to grab a glass of champagne. Let's carry on. That's good. All right. Grab a coffee if you like one as well. I think these Ponzi schemes are just they're a bunch of scammers. And I think if people became aware of what they were doing, I think it's breathtaking when I watch these people in these Zoom meetings telling people a bunch of lies. And I don't think I'm that intelligent when it comes to, the crypto knowledge. I always, I don't think I'm that intelligent myself, but I see these blatant lies going on, and I just don't understand why other people don't see it. Why don't they question everything they hear?
So has there been a time where you've been absolutely convinced that it's been a lie, and yet other people have been equally convinced it's the truth?
Every day, mate. Every day. I get people in our chat rooms who know me, understand me. Normally they have been scammed and they've come through the other side of it. They support me. But when I go into these Zoom meetings and I manage to get a moment of glory where I get to speak or be somebody, I'm talking to the doubters. And it's normally a 95% people are in there. The other 5% of people are recording the meeting like I am, trying to expose them. It's breathtaking.
So let's just talk on the one that's basically on everybody's breath at the moment, Boomerang. So I seem to recall right at the start when Boomerang came out, it was the Christmas present. And you seem to be, I kind of recall you thought it was legit or seemed to be kosher. Yeah, I think I can remember that right at the start.
I don't know about that. I mean, I can't remember actually, to be honest, because so much changes every day. I don't know why I would think. I look at every scam or every opportunity out there as a scam. I usually reverse engineer it. But no, I can't actually remember ever thinking that it wasn't a scam. But I can remember seeing what they were doing on the blockchain and then thinking it seems to do what they said. And it was only after other, what I call Avengers, come along and started, pulling the website apart. I think you actually gave me the most light on Boomerang when you started going through the website code. That was every day we'd discover something amazing. Yeah, guess what we found? It was really cool.
So I can remember Crypto G because I think that Crypto G was the first one for me where he did a video early on, which, to be perfectly honest, I'm thinking that he investigated the arbitrage trades to see whether he could make sense of them. Do you recall that?
Yeah, no, I do. I did find this. I mean, what I'm really pleased about is we have actually really come to understand a lot more about the blockchain. I have learned so much from Susie, Stealth, and also Crypto G, the things I would never even comprehend. And it's given us a great understanding. And I think, people say they die by their own sword because everyone's going, the blockchain, the blockchain don't lie. And it doesn't. And now what we're watching unfold is them trying not to use the blockchain, claiming that people are going to copy their IP or their platform, their code, and their smart contracts. And it's just ridiculous. But it's quite funny that they're now trying to get off the blockchain because we've turned them inside out when it comes to their blockchain, if you know what I mean.
So there's been talk that it's all sorted now, and it's going to trade, and it's going to be trading a lot. There's 86,000 people there waiting for it to lift off, and I think there's going to be a demonstration in the morning. Are you going to be doing a video on that?
Oh, mate! Before you said you want to do a podcast, I was sitting there with Canva trying to create 3 columns. Because there's 3 meetings going on tomorrow. I can't remember the third one. Because we've got a new arbitrage system that's going to be launched at the same time from some other crowd. And then we've got Jarvis is meant to be coming out and doing a demo for the second time when he didn't do one the first time, which is ironic. And there was a third thing. I can't remember what the third one was. Do you?
Wow. So it's all going. No. I've kind of stepped way back, really, unless anything kind of falls into my lap. So do you think it will launch?
No.
No. Would you like to tell the viewers why not?
Well, launch, maybe they might. I think it's just impossible for it to launch. I mean, we've never seen anything. But we've only seen, I think you did a video way back at the start and you talked about how this was a simulation, if I'm pronouncing that word right. And the whole lot's never been anything real. I mean, I was on this podcast a couple of days ago and they said that arbitrage trading's real. And I go, yeah, but this is people trading $100 and making $1, which means that they're claiming that there's 1% difference between one platform and another decentralized exchange. And if those exchanges were out by 1% and it was just sitting there on the table, I'm pretty sure other people would have exploited it years ago. Arbitrage trading to me is, millions of dollars being traded on one platform to the other. The fact that they say that you can borrow, $3 million worth of flash loan money and you can go trade up to $100 and make 1%, it's just ridiculous. But no one seems to be talking about that. I've got a noise here. The logics. No one does the elephant in the room. No one says, well, hey, if they, wouldn't you be able to? And so anything they've done in the past, they're claiming sort of a wee bit of a victory, but there's been no victory. So it's all veneer. And now they're going to claim that they're going to launch. What the hell are they actually attempting to launch? That's what I'd really want to know.
So what if they did launch, and what if it did actually prove to be arbitrage trading?
Well, there's another side of it that I don't like. Let's just say it's real and it's genuine and Danny had to eat humble pie, and I don't really care about that. I don't like the fact that they're selling between $500, I think they're $5,000 and $10,000 licenses, and they are paying the affiliate platform 65% of the sale price to run the platform. So the multi-level marketing side of all these Ponzi schemes, they're all starving to find a product, but the commissions they are paying people. Now, Hyperverse, 52% of the money went back to the multi-level marketers. Now, with Boomerang, we only just found out this a couple of weeks ago that people were saying, well, you haven't delivered the product. How about a refund? And Chavez goes, oh, yeah, I'll refund you. And then I think Carl came out and said, well, we can't. It's not going to be easy to refund people because 65% of the money that people have paid for these licenses has gone to the affiliate marketers. And I'm going, why do they get 65%?
Yeah. So let's go back to Hyperverse. At what state, so you had your suspicions that it wasn't kosher. When did that start to unravel itself?
Well, obviously for the people when the money wasn't getting paid out, because I remember there was a guy, I think you might have been actually helped me with that one, Mark Gardner, the Australian guy, and he was convinced it was a real deal. It was my first actually 2-hour and 4-minute long video, and somebody said, oh, people don't like this long form content. If I do a 2-hour video these days, it's a short video for me. But he was convinced that it was real. And he basically had multiple accounts set up that he wasn't really allowed to do at the time and blah, blah, blah. And he had made money from it. So because he'd got money, he was a believer. That's all it took. And the ethics behind it, I don't know ethics, either, what they were doing, like there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers. But the fact that he was winning because he was getting the money, anything I said, he just would not, he thought I was an idiot. And he won't
So you think that some people are perhaps aware that some things that they're involved in may not be quite on the up and up, but the rewards that they're getting paid out and the money that they can withdraw, at least at some stage, kind of allows them to what's the word for it? Press on when, if they weren't receiving the rewards, they may stop. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely. Because they were, like, especially with Boomerang. Boomerang is actually a brilliant brilliant scheme because people were getting paid money into their MetaMask wallet. So it was just brilliant. So people all of a sudden don't question anything but the money talks. So it's just,
yes.
And that's just, that was the hardest thing to convince people. Where does the money come from? And same with all these Ponzi schemes and scams. Where does the money come from? It's somebody has been told to put their, the guy that rang me up and said he put $5 million into Hyperverse thinking he was going to get $15 million back in 600 days.
So what would, when do you know? Yeah. Okay. So if you're involved in something and it's paying out rewards or it's paying out, like regular payments or whatever, like we heard about one today where they're going to be paying out like 0.7%. At what stage, like how long after those withdrawals dry up would you think that it's collapsed?
Well, they don't want them to collapse because I think if they keep them going, they give people hope, and people will stick around. Like we watched Boomerang take people's money, and 100 days later, they still haven't launched, and people are still believing, it's going to happen. So I don't know. I mean, does it need to collapse? When even Hyperverse took 2 years, 18 months before that theoretically collapsed, and the money was long gone.
Now, I was following some of Hyperverse at some stage, and then I was following some of HyperNation, which was what came after Hyperverse. Was there a time when they actually announced that it's all over, or did it just kind of fade into the background?
They had a time where they had a smart contract that got pulled, which, smart contracts theoretically can't get pulled. But I remember Sam Lee going, I can't believe they've done this, and he's going to have a word to them. And then the contract got reinstated or something like that, which was ridiculous, sort of, the fact that they're going to pull this smart contract, that smart contracts are there forever and a day. And, it's just made a mockery of the whole lot. So I don't know, what was the question again?
Well, yeah. Like, is there a declaration? Hi everybody. You're involved in ABC project, and unfortunately, ABC project has failed. Do you ever hear announcements like that?
No, they just don't. They just don't do that. I can't actually. I have to really think about that. It's a good question, Rob. Like, what's one? Well, VidiLook, for example, they come out and they said everyone stole the money. Hyperverse, yeah, they actually said that somebody had hacked into the system in January and they took all the money and they were holding them for ransom. But then they had a word to all the big exchanges and said, do not move any large amounts of money off the crypto exchanges. And they were talking about people like Binance because somebody had stolen all the money on Hyperverse. So then the person couldn't get the money off the platform or move it around or break it up to get it out. So then they decided that they would offer them a $400,000 finder's fee for finding a bug in the system.
Speaking of bug, there's a fly flying around my studio.
There's flies in your studio. It doesn't even look like you have a fly. There's a fly spot in the back room there, if you can grab that.
I've got it. So if you're a Buddhist, look away. Look away. Okay. So
I haven't finished the story. They published a blog.
Sorry.
They published a blog. You got fly destroy. They published a blog about it. Somebody, I think Sam Lee criticized it, and then the blog was removed. And then I managed to record the blog and put the video out showing this, their claim that some hacker had hacked into their system. That was because Sam Lee was coming out and basically exposing Hyperverse and the leaders behind it. So they panicked and come up with their version of their story of what happened.
Interesting. So because there's a lot of crypto schemes that fall over, do you think that a crypto scheme today, like, for example, and we'll say Boomerang because that's one that I know is actually going, it's a crypto opportunity that is going. Do you think most of the people that are in Boomerang, this is their first time? Or do you think, or have you seen people that have moved from one to the next to the next to the next, despite many of them falling over?
Yeah, good question again there, Rob. Yeah, I do believe that it is a continuous flow of newbies, but then I have seen multiple people tell me that they have been involved in Hyperverse and they got burnt, and then they've been involved in VidiLook, VAV. Even We Are All Satoshi hasn't theoretically fallen over yet, but they go through and they just tell me that because I think some people actually believe that you get in quick, you make some money, and then you don't worry about everyone else losing money. As long as you've made back what you put in, I'm good. So they'll look for another scheme that does the same. But then I'm watching a lot of the people from the third world countries come in, and they just, they believe this stuff. And I've literally seen people in shacks with tin roofs, on their cell phone, and they're telling them to turn their camera on, and they have bad internet, and they go, I can't turn my camera on because I don't have enough bandwidth. And these are the people that are hoping that they're going to make it big in a first, by signing up to a first world country opportunity, and they're going to be the one in Kenya or Nigeria that make it big. And I've even talked to people in Nepal who have sold land and put it into these investment opportunities, saying this is going to be for their family, and you sold two plots of land that you had in your family for X amount of years, and you put it all onto an opportunity. And they go, yes. And now I'm worried that I'm not going to get the money back.
Wow. So there's people from multiple cultures and probably multiple languages as well. When you're wanting to spread awareness, do you have any particular strategy that you try to apply to get the word out there?
Any particular strategy? Well, I'm streaming on 8 different platforms as we speak, and I just remembered I went streaming on Instagram. I have my I love YouTube. Sorry, I don't love YouTube. I do love YouTube. I love Google. Google, YouTube, don't cut me off. No, but I do believe in YouTube as a godsend. So I have a website, and I put a lot of my videos get embedded in my website. They get picked up in search engines. And recently we've discovered that ChatGPT is looking at me as a resource of information, which is quite funny. But I do, yeah. You mean like how do I promote my content?
Well, like for example, would you, if you found out some information about a particular opportunity, would you communicate it in a particular way to get through to people? Like, for example, if the majority of people that were involved in the scheme were from India, would you communicate whatever the message was the same way as if they were in America or Africa or New Zealand or Australia, or have you got any particular style, I guess I'm saying?
Yeah, bull in a china shop comes to mind, but
oh right.
I think I don't mind being. I do like. I'd love to get involved in the Indian community because I feel like I've been to India twice and I love India, and I've and they're very trustworthy people, and they trust people on a handshake. Very nice, very friendly. First time I went to India, taxi driver took me back to his mum's house, and we had they made me a cup of tea. We sat on the floor and had talked. They were just lovely people, and I just don't like them. But when you see 1,000 or more people in a Zoom meeting, all getting scammed, it's like how do I communicate to them, because they just don't. They just trust people what they say, and it's just I don't know how to communicate with people. I mean, a lot of them don't. People don't spend the time watching my videos. So then I've done short, snappy videos. It's a scam. Don't sign up. You're going to lose all your money. And then they debate things with you, and you go, well, you need to spend an hour and a half watching one of my videos. And like, especially with Boomerang, I mean, the amount of information that we have had, and we've shown people that this is a scam and it's fake arbitrage trading. They don't want to sit there and watch a video, but they'd rather hand over $500 to somebody. How do we stop those people? I have no idea. So if I see them on these Zoom meetings, I'm on there searching through people's Facebook accounts, trying to find these people. I send them messages. I mean, But I don't want to dominate your question, but remember the lady Carol? We saw her sharing her password live on a Zoom meeting. I logged into her We Are All Satoshi account with the password she had. I found her phone number. I rang her up. I talked to her for half an hour on the phone. Next day, she's in the meeting saying that the scammer rang me up. And they're saying, oh, hang up on him. Don't listen to him. Hang up on him. And I'm trying to save her. And he's hacked into my account. And I'm hacked into your account, so get your phone number. But they just, we don't know where Carol is at the moment. But you can't help some people.
If you were to meet any of the leaders of some of the failed opportunities, what would you have to say to them if you met them face to face?
I'd probably like to go out to dinner with them. I'd probably like to just, I don't know, it's kind of like, I'd like to understand the psychology of them. I don't want to sit in their face and walk up to them and get in their face and go, you're a scammer. I'd rather I have a bit of respect for them to a certain degree, and I'd like them to see that I'm a professional. I just don't agree with what they're doing. And no, it's a really interesting scenario. It's a really good question. Like, what do you, like, if I bumped into them, I would literally go up to them. If I went to Dubai and there was a table of them there, I would go up there and sit down at the table and go, g'day guys, how you doing? I'm not going to say like, let's work together. But I'd actually, I have enough confidence to stand up with all the claims that I have. I think I could defend myself quite happily in a conversation with them. They might get upset with me and yell at me. I don't know what they'll do, but I could sit there quite passively and have a conversation. I don't think I can stop them. I just think this is what they do for a living. So I'd entertain the fact and have respect for them as scammers. Leave the fly alone. Oh my God, that's violent.
Oh my God! If you get it, you hear a good bang. Okay, so you do long form. I've seen you do a few shorter videos, and of course you do shorts. Which ones do you prefer? And is there any rationale about behind why you might do a short, which is like no more than a minute, or why you might do like a 15 to 20 minute video, or why you may do like a marathon 4 to 7 hour video?
Oh, I think content's key. If you've got the content, keep going with it. I kind of like, what do I like? The short videos that I were recording, what I used to do with the Hyperverse days, I used to sit there, listen to the meeting, play the meeting, do a voiceover, edit the meeting, put pop-ups on there, little words coming along, intros, render it for 4 hours, upload it, wait for 2 hours for it becomes live, and then market it, stick it in my blog. I thought, oh my goodness, I've got to get my life back. The amount of content I produce. I mean, literally, Rob, I went out for dinner tonight. I got there at 5:45 and sat there in the car waiting for my friends to turn up for dinner at 6. I blinked and I woke up at 6:15. The car was still running. I was in the car with the motor running to keep it warm, and I blinked like that for half an hour because I'm so tired. So I go to bed at 2:00 in the morning. It is now 11:15 at night. I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I'm exhausted. And there's a lot of effort and energy that goes into producing content. So the live content, so today I did a 6-hour stream. I chopped it into 3 videos and put it all back online again. That took me another 3 hours, and you're just trying to get those snippets of information. Hey, I've got to go to the loo, mate. Can you wait a sec?
Yeah, so there are many types of content that you can produce. So if you're a YouTuber, you can produce a short, which I think the most common periods of time are 15 seconds or 60 seconds. And you can do those live, or you can do those as a snippet of like a pre-recorded video or something like that. And then there's where you actually produce a video. You're not online, but you produce a video in your studio, home, wherever, or you put together various parts of videos and content and weave it, edit it, etc., to tell a story or to convey the information. Or you can go live. And of course, lately, most of Danny's videos, at least from what I've seen, have been live like we are now. Sometimes that can be quite apprehensive. So I was just saying to the audience that there is basically the recorded and edited videos, and then there's the live videos. Do you have a preference for which one you prefer?
I love lives. I think that's me. I love watching CoffeeZilla. And it's bloody hard work, these lives. Like I was sitting there busting to go to the loo, right? Don't drink that stuff, right? But life happens while you're live. Like you have to let your cat out the other day because the cat was clawing at the door.
And it's going to destroy the carpet, yeah.
And then you think, well, actually, I like the live thing. And because you can interact with the audience. Like we've got Susie in here now. We normally have Bob. We've got KB Coda. And somebody new as well, which I can't pronounce, Miss whatever it is. I'll probably... and we get, and I love that. I love the interaction. Don't know that name. How do you say that one?
It could be Miss Carloon.
Yeah. And I think, so I really enjoy the live aspect of it all. Oh, look. And somebody else in there, you have to read it. And being dyslexic, man, you get away from murder.
Hello,
can't read
Patrick.
Patrick. Oh, see that? Why does that not look like Patrick to me?
Probably because it's possibly a Scandinavian spelling, I think.
Because it's not spelled right, is it? Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Well, it's spelled right if you're in Scandinavia, of course.
Oh, my God. So,
there's
Josh. Oh, look.
the recorded. There's a recorded and there's a live. Do you do any preparation, like before you go live? Do you have any notes? Do you have any idea about what you want to create? Do you plan anything if you're going to do an edited video?
I'm always thinking of what I'm going to talk about, and I do. But honestly, 5:30 in the morning, I'll get out of bed tomorrow. I'll have a quick shower, and I get in here. I've already done my thumbnail. I've got the meeting ready to go, and I literally press play. What do I call it? Stream, and then my brain starts thinking, what's the first words that are going to come out of my mouth? Then I'm trying to get a Zoom meeting open. I'm trying to get 3 Zoom meetings open. And then I'm going into the WhatsApp groups, and because I don't read very well, I'm trying to scan information, and I'm trying to find important things that I need to know. But people in the chat room, like Susie's a very, very dominant person, will actually give me tidbits. Check your mail. She'll send me a message, a private chat, and I get these snippets of information. That's why I want you to use StreamYard, because StreamYard is actually a really nice way of interacting with your audience. So I sort of make it up. I just basically start talking, and I don't, honestly, when I open my mouth, I have no idea what's going to come out.
I think a lot of people could vouch for that.
What does that mean? Yeah. But I think being authentic is amazing.
So you value authenticity, and you don't necessarily do a lot of preparation. But are you quite happy in the direction that you're going at the moment, or have you thought about, like either moving into other crypto opportunities or other aspects of crypto, or even outside of crypto?
I would like to be interviewed by a few people. I'd like to be, what I'm actually trying to accomplish here, I actually want to be an informant for government agents. I'm building up, like my long form content isn't just long form content. And I think this is a point that I've actually missed to say. My long form content is actually an archive of what's happening right now. And one day people will say to me, hey, Danny, remember back in 2022 when Keith Williams was talking to Kalpesh Patel, and I've got a fantastic memory, and I'll be able to go back and find the content and the data. And I've kept all my videos are backed up. And I've got an archive, and I want to tell this story to other people. And I think, like Netflix, when I was in the New York Times, Netflix documentary company reached out to me. They did the doco on Cambridge Analytica, and they were going to do a documentary on the rise and the fall of crypto. And I was in correspondence with producers, and it was quite exciting. I thought, I'm going to be in a Netflix documentary. Then what happened was Sam Bankman-Fried started playing around, and they dropped the whole idea like a hot skull, and I think they went after him. I never heard from them again. So I'm hoping that's still going to happen, because I think, we could tell a real, I'm listening to emails. I get emails from people all day long telling me that they've invested their life savings, their superannuation money, and into a scam. And I'm going, didn't you do any research? Don't you know about this company? Don't you know who started this company? Don't you know who they used to be? Or like We Global, blockchain era. And now there are some other, I think Vera, I think it's called. And I've literally seen businessmen 65 up taking out, like $500,000 and putting it into these platforms. And because they're part of a community of businessmen that surely they're not making this stuff up. You don't understand the blockchain, and I go, well, I think I do. It's a scam. It's a Ponzi scheme. They've got no product, so I just hope that one day that I can actually be somebody who can, I with my business networking company, mate, I know everyone in my wee hometown. The network of these scammers is actually very, very small. I'm driving back from dinner, listening to your stream that you did about Des Amy. You mentioned about a video I did on Des Amy. I had COVID and I'd lost my voice, and I still did this video because I'd spent the whole day prepping for this. I had 30 tabs open, and I was going to mortify the guy, but I had no voice. And I'm talking like this. And I'm going, how are you going? And I looked at that video. It's one of my videos. It's going to be a part of the story of what I tell one day. And then now the documents come out, and they've shut his company down for the second time, actually. And you think, how brilliant is that? I'm part of that. I've got correspondence from him one-on-one with Des Amy telling me, I showed him how I cook a gluten-free blueberry pancake one morning, and I took photos all along, and he's berating me and all sorts of stuff. And I said, well, let me show you how I cook a pancake. We've sort of got a banter going with these guys. I know these guys. I've talked to them. Sam Lee knows my face. Kalpesh Patel knows who I am. I rang up that lady, Nandi, the other day. I think what did I have the other day? Nandi?
Yeah?
Yeah, how you doing? It's Danny de Hek. You may have heard of me. We're just doing some...
No, I'm not heard of you.
She's lying. Oh, haven't you? Oh, I'm associated with Sam Lee. I know you're associated with Sam Lee.
Oh, I don't even know Sam Lee. But at the 7 I'm sleeping.
You've been doing Vend productions. Oh, she doesn't know Sam Lee, but she's left. So that lady there does know me, and she knows Sam Lee. That was the lady that was running Vend for him after May Summer Vu. And we got a phone number and rang her up on the spot.
So if you could interview 3 people, who would they be?
Oh, I love the question. Interview 3 people. Who would it be? Well, Kalpesh Patel would be up there. Yeah. There's another guy that I busted ages ago, and I kind of wouldn't. Andre Christensen. He's running a gaming app called Super.1. He's rung me up like my best buddy. He was going to fly over from Norway, Netherlands or somewhere, and he wanted to talk to me. And he rang up drunk one night and spilt the beans about how I'm ruining his life, and that was so I kind of got a soft spot for him. So I'd have to say him. I don't have any interest to talk to Jarvis because I'll probably just have an argument with him. So you want one more?
Yep.
One more. So let's think about the scams that I've gone. People think I'm all about Boomerang. People think I was all about Hyperverse, but I have actually gone after quite a lot of the big guys. Probably the guy from GS Partners. I don't really know much about him, but he sues everybody. He's been trying to go after. Oh no! Silly me. Talking about suing Stephen McCullough. I want to talk to that guy. Forget about GS Partners. Stephen McCullough, because he's the guy that tried to sue me in the New Zealand High Court last year for $3.8 million. And that was actually quite a scary thing to happen. But I had amazing support all around, really. And I also learned how the process. Am I saying that right? Stephen McCullough? I always pronounce this wrong. You think of somebody who's going to sue you.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd love to talk to him. Now he's gone, after we won that case, because my lawyers told me I won because he filed a discontinuance, but we didn't back down. Hour and a half before the High Court judge opens the file, and I'm in the courtroom, they filed a discontinuance. Now, since that's happened, we haven't heard anything from him. He's like disappeared. So that's a victory, that one. Like Carl Harveston today, he's deleted all his videos off his YouTube channel. That's a victory for us. May Summervoo's claiming that I'm a bully and I'm ruining her business. That's a victory for me. So by going after these guys, and I don't believe that the authorities, like with Carl Harveston today, we found 10 newspapers, we found politicians, we found the organization that filed the complaint. I forgot what it's called, their version of sect or whatever it is in Canada. And I carbon copied them all and did an email. And he said, I've ruined his life. And I go, great. And he said, he's never scammed anybody in his life. Yeah, great. But, so I think that's what I like, when we stop these guys, because I don't think anyone's really interested in doing anything about them when it comes to the governments. But if we can cause disruption and they are freaking out at home, then I'm quite happy about that.
Cool. So let's fast forward and let's say, just hypothetically speaking, so let's say you got it out of all things crypto, and we fast forward about 2 or 3 years, and you have, like, you're still a YouTuber and you're churning out steady content. What do you think your passion could be in 2 to 3 years if it wasn't anything to do with crypto?
More private investigator, researching people, knowing how to use the internet to, reverse image, look up people, that sort of style. So I don't know if that's, just looking up people, family trees perhaps. I don't know, but crypto is not really what I'm going after. It's more the multi-level marketers and the scammers, really. I was always impressed with those telephones, the call center people that used to ring up people's call centers. I love the idea of being a hacker and being able to get control of other people's computers and actually stop them from doing harms. Or I don't know if it's a nasty streak or a narcissistic side of me where I want to actually cause havoc in a scammer's world, I mean, I don't, yeah. I think, I don't know. I just like investigating people. I mean, I don't think I can keep this up at the speed I was going. So, I actually find it quite hard at the moment to carry on right now, to be honest.
So just to come back, kind of full circle back to YouTubing and content creation and stuff like that, there are various parts of creating content for YouTube or any other social media. What out of the audio side, the video side, or the ideas side do you enjoy? What have you enjoyed learning from, and what do you continue to experiment with?
Well, I love better quality video, smoother. I love to be able to get online quicker. I enjoy creating all the thumbnails. I love my PodTrack P8 device here with the sound. I love being able to hit a button. So I just love, I don't know. I just, what do I like the most about what I'm doing with the gadgets? I don't know. I just like connecting with people online. I mean, I love the relationships we built up with the Avengers. I mean, I love, somebody said today, so I was in that podcast, which I can't even remember the name of. The guy reached out to me today and said that they want to start up a trust of some sort. And I thought, wow, that sounds exciting. What did he say? He said, thanks for he wants to start up a non-profit as a place for like-minded people to coordinate actions. So that sounds pretty exciting. So that's an American guy who sounds like he's in his 60s plus. He's been busting scams for quite a long time. And we did the podcast with him, another guy, Peter and Steve, I think it was. Scott, I should say. I should remember his name because I've got no memory for names. But anyway, that sounds like I'd love to have an organization behind us, literally called the Avengers, and everyone that's part of it is called an Avenger. And we somehow fund this. We get enough money to, give us back the, like that pierogi guy. I like what he's done. He's my hero when it comes to, he's networking with other people in the industry. He's not trying to just, like, people accuse us of being YouTubers and we're just trying to get clicks. And that's the lowest form of intelligence when somebody says that to me. But if we could form some form of organization, some crime fighting unit of some sort, and I obviously, I've got nothing behind me. I've got no finances behind me when it comes to, my life. I've had it all and lost it all in a way. But I'd love to be able to make a living out of this. And I'm not talking about, $200,000 a year. I'm saying if I made $80,000 a year, I'd be happy to do this. I don't want for much. So I don't see why I shouldn't deserve a paycheck. But I can't carry on doing what I'm doing at the moment. I'm just going backwards financially. But my passion is driving me forward further. Like I'm working harder for less. And I don't know why. They asked me in this podcast, what do I do this for? And I go, well, I just feel like it's my place, my thing. I'm that guy. That's what I do. That's what I'm good at. Where it goes, I don't know.
So I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions now.
Can I have another 5 minutes? Because I've got to let the stupid dog out because he's.
So just continuing on from where we were before, Danny mentioned there that he wished that he could get online quicker. And one of the interesting things is that, yes, you can just literally hit one button on your iPhone and go live, or at least you could go live in a matter of seconds. But one of the interesting things is that you usually want to set up your title and your description and maybe a thumbnail and put your tags in, so that people actually know that you're going live and people actually know what you're going to be talking about and make that decision whether or not they're going to tune in. But of course, the interesting thing when you get into YouTube is that you realize that how you envisage the video might turn out in your mind is actually quite hard to create, because instead of just kind of recording what is in your mind's eye, you have the lens of a camera, you have the microphone, and you have to kind of manage it in a certain way. So, Danny, you're back, and I was just explaining that sometimes we have an idea in our mind, but to actually put that on a video is not always that easy because of the equipment that we have to use. Yeah.
I think if we had what we have right now, 2 years ago, we'd be a lot further ahead than we are. But I'm thinking what will happen in 2 years when we look back to now. We've got nice wee backgrounds, but it took us friggin' ages to figure out how to get these green screens working for us. The lighting is just incredible. So look at this. No light. $1,000
It looks like a heart.
Yeah, and then we've got other lights that you don't see, which I can't turn on and off because I have to go manually adjust them and put them on 10%. But my remote control will only set them at 25%, which you can't see. So if I turn my lights off behind me, off and on with a click of a button, I lose my perfectly cut out hoo-ha. But how long did it take us to learn that?
Or you could do this. Move around. You can change. There's so many little things that you have to kind of plan in the background. Like your angles, what camera's going to film you from the angle, how you are in the frame, so on and so forth. Yeah, exactly what you're doing there.
See the green screen stuff.
Things.
Yeah, so I can't use that camera look. So I'd have to set up the lights different for that camera look. But this one's good. Yeah.
And of course, as we were talking before, like at the moment, sometimes your sound sounds good in here, but not necessarily online. And sometimes audio streams compete with each other. And of course, here is our, what would you call it, processed sound. And here's the same sound unprocessed, and it sounds like this, which is completely different. And with one button, I can hit on the processing, and now we're back to this. And so there's a lot of little things that go into it. So just
for the record there, Rob, before you start asking me these quick fire questions that you promised to 5 minutes ago, you sound a bit tinny to me today. And that's been putting me off because, and I will be interested to know if you sound tinny, because this is what puts you off. When we started doing this podcast at the start, Susie said we've got echo. And then you lose your mojo and you think, I've got to fix that. We didn't know that. We can't hear it. Now, at the moment, I've got these headpiece things on and you sound a bit tinny. But when I play it back, it'll probably sound perfect. I don't know.
Well, it could be because I am tinny. Okay, so here's the quick fire ones. And I want you to spontaneously answer.
All right.
All right, are you ready?
Of course I am.
Name your biggest challenge as a YouTuber.
Pronunciation and reading words.
How do you handle negative feedback?
It really does upset me. I'm not that thick, not that thick-skinned. So I have to process it, and I just have to water of a duck's back. And I know that I'm going to get abuse in my industry.
What is the favorite aspect of going live?
The communicating with other people. I mean, it is about a community. We have an online community. It's I've got 7,500 people at the moment. I just love being able to interact with them. And when I first started doing this, most of the people were berating me. And now I've been vindicated a little bit, been in the New York Times, I've been in the Guardian newspaper, and I've been local, blah, blah, blah. And it's actually now I'm actually becoming somebody. And I like who I'm becoming. Always room for improvement.
If you had the opportunity to interview or be interviewed, which would you choose?
I'm enjoying this. I think I like the soapbox.
If you could snap your finger and bust any scheme that you think is a Ponzi or just any scheme, which one would it be? Historically as well.
Yeah. Great question. I don't know. You might have just unraveled something that perhaps I don't really care. Maybe I don't actually have. I mean, I'll be out of business if I busted them. And what is busting? I mean, day one, the first 2 minutes that I ever heard about Hyperverse, I said it was just a scam. It was busted from day one.
The first thing I can remember about Hyperverse was 3X.
Too good to be true?
And we're hearing it again.
Rinse and repeat. And this is the thing, I've got to say it, Rob. When you look at Boomerang, they have just pulled the 20 parts of any Ponzi scheme apart and relabeled all the bits. And it's like playing a game and they have 20 bits every time they play a game. What are we going to call this piece? What are we going to call that piece? We need a this, we need a that, we need a metaverse. We'll call the metaverse this time, and what reward will we got? What hope will we give people? And they just rinse and repeat.
If you knew that you were going to create a video, what is the part that gives you the most buzz?
Creating the thumbnail.
Excellent. Do you like jotting down notes or doing random research?
In my office, I have tissue paper. That's it. I have no paper other than tissues. I was just going to say I have a paperless office, but that's all the tissues there. And I thought, no. So no, I don't take any notes, but I do take digital notes, and I do use ChatGPT like it's part of me. It's an extension of my body. This microphone, I talk into my phone, it creates the words for me. And I feel like I'm got no arms when I can't use the voice recognition to put the words onto the computer, because yeah.
Interesting. So, what is the number one tool or resource that you would choose above anything else?
Resource, you mean for information?
Tool, resource, so it could be information to research, to help you create a video, phone, computer, microphone, camera, table, dog, whatever helps you create a YouTube video.
Well, probably the voice to text. I'm always struggling to communicate. I feel like people don't listen to me, understand me. I talk in illustrations, but I do think voice to text. If I can get what I'm thinking in here, from here onto the paper or the screen, and then I lock it into history by uploading it to the internet, that's kind of my. I love producing a blog after doing a video because that's part of the history and it's not going to disappear.
If you had a choice between showing a 30-second clip or speaking a crucial piece of information that you've heard, which would you rather do?
Oh, it'd have to be speaking because then I can capture it with a bit of humor. You got to have a bit of humor. I mean,
interesting. How do you ensure this is a good one down here? How do you ensure your investigations are ethical and accurate?
Well, my intention
can pass.
No, I think we endeavour to. I mean, this is ironic how many people expect me to have.
Wouldn't use me in this.
Hey,
I wouldn't use we or me. I'd use you.
Well, you can't say that you're accurate. And I'm not allowed.
No, I make the assumption I'm not, which is why I give people the opportunity. I do believe
you kind of have to bluff it a little bit, and it is shock treatment to a certain degree. I mean, some people are sitting in these Zoom meetings. If you ever listen to my podcast, if you listen to this podcast that I've got on my Buzzsprout account at the moment, I've put a recording that pops up automatically in between it just comes up every, I think, 30 seconds, and it wakes people up. And I was listening to it driving in the car when I was re-listening to the podcast I did 2 days ago, right? And it pops up and it plays some music and it tells me to wake up, stand up, slap your face, wake up, listen. And sometimes people just get in the drone of these Zoom meetings, and I want to be that guy that challenges your brain. I want to get those I don't know if it's the right word, endorphins going. I want you to start stimulating your brain cells. I want you to wake up. I mean, you're in a Zoom meeting for an hour and a half being gaslighted to. You can't ask a question. You can't talk. You can't put words in the chat room. And you're sitting there, somebody's feeding you information. It's drip feeding poison into your brain. So you need somebody like me standing there causing, wake up, listen to what I'm saying. There's a fire. And it's going to burn you. You need to get out of the building now. Do you hear what I'm saying, you stupid mother? And then you've got their attention. They go, oh, what? Yeah, good, I've got your attention. Now listen to me. You've been lied to. Come with me and we'll get you into, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I don't want to see people thinking that they can put their money into a Ponzi scheme and get 3 times their return on investment within blah. Why don't we come up with something you can do? Why don't we find something you're passionate about? And let's make it into a business. That's more exciting.
Quick fire response. Okay. What is one video that you think of immediately when you think that you made an impact?
Oh, it'd have to be my Stephen Reese Lewis video. And that's at 35,000 views. And why that is funny is because I was trying to use a teleprompter. And when you're dyslexic and you've got a reading level of a 9.3-year-old, you cannot use a teleprompter. And I was reading it like a boss off a teleprompter, wearing a suit, just like Stephen Reese Lewis was from Hyperverse. And I was dead serious. I was trying to read that like I wasn't reading off a teleprompter. And at the end of it, people looked at it as Danny's impersonation of Stephen Reese Lewis, who was reading off a teleprompter. And it was like, it's quite funny. But it's probably when I look at it, I cringe a little bit. But I also had the background of the metaverse going around, and I used it on my homepage for a while. But 35,000 people is actually quite a good number. But yeah, that's probably my most kind of, I don't know, brand. That's my part of my brand, is that one.
What is the most surprising thing you've learned doing videos?
Oh, people, I don't know. What's the most surprising thing I've learned, I don't think you can. I don't know. I have no idea what's the most surprising thing I've learned. Probably it doesn't matter. I'll probably people. Sorry?
We'll move on from that one because it kind of leads into this one. If you were to give people some advice who wanted to do videos, one sentence, what would it be?
Start today.
Cool. How many subscribers would you like to have in the next year?
I don't care. I want to go back on the other one first. I want to be good today rather than perfect tomorrow, because tomorrow never comes. So start today. Okay. How many subscribers? I don't actually care anymore. I know that you're trying to build your subscribers up at the moment, just putting it out there. And I listened to you talking about it, and I think, yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm heading off in another direction at the moment.
Yeah, but you're trying to find content that people want to listen to, and I think that I've picked a niche where I don't think. Or I looked at We Are Satoshi's YouTube account today, and they had 20,000 in one of their YouTube accounts, and another one they had 10,000, and I currently have about 7,500 subscribers. But I don't think I'm going to get, like CoffeeZilla's got, I think, 3.6 million subscribers, and I don't actually want to sacrifice my style of videos to copy somebody else. I believe that when I get the publicity that, I believe, I actually say, I believe when I get the publicity I deserve, that my YouTube channel will have a good base and people will do a lot of binge watching of my videos. I think my goal is like Richard Radecki, our truck driver friend, he's a truck driver. Now imagine if truck drivers started listening to my content. When I travel, I listen to podcasts. When I reckon people will start listening. You were doing a fitness craze a wee while ago, and you were out walking every night, and your goal was to walk for an hour every night. You complained to me when I didn't have long form content because you had nothing to listen to. Yeah, and I believe that's my niche. I'm a long form content YouTuber, and I believe that's where I want my YouTube channel to go. And if I get a bit more publicity, I'll get that snowball. I've done lots of things in business for myself, and things do snowball. And sometimes it just takes a couple of years to get that momentum going. Everyone's got a story.
If you could encourage your viewers to do one thing, what would it be?
Oh, hit the thumbs up button, for God's sake.
Thumbs up button. If you could collaborate with one other YouTuber, who would it be?
Oh, it'd have to be CoffeeZilla. And ironically, I reached out to him just yesterday, asking for help with a new story I've got.
And how would you say YouTube has impacted your personal life?
It's dominated it.
Dominated it.
I'm
like being dominated?
Oh, yeah, sometimes. But it is consuming. It does consume your life. And like I've got an addictive personality, and it worries me that I'm addicted to it. I mean, tonight I was actually shattered. I was just going to climb into bed. I wasn't going to prepare for tomorrow morning's meeting. And then you said you want to do a live. And I went, yeah, okay. I'm actually shattered today.
I just threw it out there. I didn't think you'd say yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the last thing. What final piece of advice would you give to aspiring YouTubers or crypto enthusiasts?
Oh, have a play on crypto. Just get $100 and put it on $10 on each token. Buy some Ruby coin. Ask some friends for advice, but just don't give it away on don't sign up. Don't give other people your crypto. That's probably it. And what was the other one? Aspiring YouTubers?
No. If you were going to change your name from the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger and you couldn't use Danny de Hek, what would it be?
No, quick fire. I have no idea. I don't know. The Pixelator? I have no idea.
The Pixelator.
I like my name. I do like the name. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Gadget Man. I've got it. My other side of it is I am actually a cult survivor, so to speak, and I've had a pretty hardcore upbringing when it comes to religious cults, and I have actually started over my life quite a few times. So I think if I had a name, I'd probably want to reflect something that it was like resilience of some sort. And I'm quite a sad person. People don't realize that. Like sometimes I'm just, I'm an emotional, sensitive guy. And I have a heart of gold, I believe. So, I mean, something that connects with people. I love connecting with people. I love being a communicator. If you go through my website, you'll see that I call myself a connector. And I love facilitating relationships, probably relationship buster or relationship something or other. Anyway, there's a whole lot of names. You make a name out of that, give it to me.
Okay, so that's it. That concludes all of my questions. Thank you, Danny, for being so candid and answering them all. And the only thing that Danny had is that he wasn't allowed to ask me any questions. And he got asked whether or not anything was off limits. And he said, no, you can ask me anything you like. So I did. Mm-hmm. So over to you, Danny, to wrap it up.
Oh, well, thanks, Rob. I think if I were to give a message out to people, I mean, we do have a few shits and giggles and whatever, if I'm saying it right, but we really are actually trying to gather information, help people. So we would love it if people reached out to us. We'd love to interview more people. Even, like Shavis, if you ever watched this one day, we'd love to interview you. I think, seriously, we want to know what drives you guys. I mean, we know it's a game. We understand what you're doing. We're not stupid. I mean, May Summervoo said to me today in a text, she said, I'm not as stupid as you think I am. And I said, well, how stupid are you then? And I thought that was quite funny. That was my response. But I mean, I'd love to sort of get involved more in what they're doing. I'd love to be that hardcore journalist guy that interviews these people that are running these scams. And the only way we're going to do that is by having a few more on. Like Jan Gregory agreed to an interview, and I've got a placeholder. Now he probably thinks, I don't know what he thinks, but I'd love to interview him, and I'd give him the questions beforehand. He can give me candid answers if he wants, but I want to get to know these guys. I'm part of the community. I'm part of the friggin' scam community. Do you feel like, well, I can't ask you a question, but I can only assume that we're part of this circus show. I mean, we're the guys, and I think for a small community of YouTubers, we've actually infiltrated their. We control the narrative, and I think that's something that I'm proud of. I think whatever happens to my YouTube channel tomorrow, like literally, I was so tired tonight. I was just going to go to bed. I wasn't going to do a show in the morning, but I think we have made a difference. And I think whatever happens going forward, I'm proud of what we've accomplished to date. So anything from now going forward is a bonus. So we appreciate people who join in and encourage us to continue. And it does, those nice comments we get, the people that support us, it really makes a huge difference. And I probably just really want to say thank you, because it has been 3 years of something that has fully consumed my life. I mean, to sit in front of a computer for 24 hours talking nonstop. At one stage, I fell asleep, and I was sort of, and the phone starts ringing because people, Danny, wake up. I think it was within the 24-hour thing, but I've done some long streams, so it's a real community out there that want to fight and make a change and make a difference, and we're part of it. So, hey, Rob, thanks for being on my podcast, and thank you for interviewing me. And I will honestly listen to this in the morning, and I'm looking forward to hearing what I sound like, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we come across like. And also, it wasn't the 24-hour stream. I think it was Richard Raymond. Susie just said that. So, and I love this StreamYard. You got to get StreamYard. Look, I can pop things up on the screen like this. We can see for more Rob content. Look at that. And that's our helpers.
Oh, she's a good girl. She's a good girl.
Yeah. Yeah, so click on those links, and Susie, you're absolutely awesome, and we'll get together one day. I mean, that's probably the one thing I'd really like to do. If we don't know what Susie looks like, we don't know where Susie lives, we don't know where Bob lives, we don't know where he lives, we know what his shoes look like. We have met Crypto, but there's a lot of people that have provided us anonymous information and support us amazingly, but we still take hours out of their day every day, and that's pretty amazing that they support us. So it's a victory all around, I reckon. Hey, there, Rob, we're going to sign off. Any? Do you want the last words?
No. I'm fine.
You've been listening to Danny de Hek, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. Thank you for getting to this end of the podcast. Hope you've enjoyed it. Feel free to search me out on the internet. Just search for Danny de Hek. You'll find me all over the place. I have an awesome YouTube channel, which I do videos every week. So just go to youtube.com/de Hek and you'll make my day. Hey, thanks for listening, and please do make sure you subscribe, and any comments, feedback or suggestions, find my website and send them through. Have a great day.